Good right there. Perfect.
All right, guys, my name is Mo Jassim. I'm the head organizer for ADCC 2019 and 2022. This is Peter. He's the head judge of ADCC. He's been with ADCC since the beginning, since 1998. And we have Carlos Diaz, who's one of our most experienced refs, okay, and judges. So today, it's going to be very laid back. We're just going to go down the sheet, and then we're going to start explaining the positions. So everyone has this paper? Okay, so we're just going to start. So in ADCC, if you want, you're allowed to wear the gi. If you do wear the gi, some people have. If you do wear the gi, you're not allowed to grip the gi. You can't use it offensively or defensively, just to be clear. You can wear wrestling shoes, but if you do wear wrestling shoes, they can still attack your legs. So it's completely up to you. There are no slippery substances allowed on your body or clothing. We have DQ'd people before, so if someone complains, we'll go try to wipe the guy down, and if they feel like there's a substance or something like that, it's up to the judges to DQ the athlete. In ADCC, the mats are pretty big. They're usually about 10 meters by 10 meters. Okay, if the fighters go out of the area, the referee will resume the same position as in the center of the mat. Okay? And let's see. If the fighters were... Okay, let's go to the next one. How you can win. If you can either tap your opponent, or it's going to go to points or referee decision. Okay? Those are 3 ways to win. In ADCC, I want to be very clear. If you're in a submission and someone's breaking your arm, the referee will let them break your arm. They will not stop the match. If they see a bone coming out or something like that and it's very serious, then they'll stop the match. Okay? We do this to avoid, oh, I didn't tap and stuff like that. So if someone taps, they need to do a very clear tap, so we avoid that. But I've seen it where people have had their arms broken and we don't stop the match. Just to be very clear about that.
Just like you can also verbally tap that.
Yeah,
You can tap down or verbally.
very loudly.
Loud. I mean, just screaming or shouting won't work. Referees won't stop the fight.
Yeah. Time limits. In ADCC, in the World Championship, all the rounds up to the finals, they're 10 minutes. The first 5 minutes, there are no points. Okay? The last 5 minutes, there are points. Okay? Then, if the score is tied, there will be an overtime of 5 minutes with points the whole time. Okay? The finals, which is going to be this weekend, it's 20 minutes, 10 minutes no points, 10 minutes points with 2 overtimes, possible overtimes of 10 minutes each. The finals are different though. If you pull guard, even in the no points time, you will be hit with a penalty. Okay? So for this weekend, we're doing 20 minutes with no overtime. So if anyone pulls during the match, at any time, it's a -1 immediately. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. Trials. Trials format's a little bit quicker. It's 6 minutes, 3 minutes no points, 3 minutes points. The finals of the trials is 8 minutes. 4 minutes no points, 4 minutes points. Same thing applies. If you pull at any time during the finals, you will get hit with the negative. Next page.
That is a pull the pole up before states can estimate the fire up.
What's that? Sorry.
Is to pull penalty or be pull a sweep, you get a penalty as well.
What do you mean to pull?
We'll cover this later.
To that here in a moment when we talk about points.
Okay, yeah, good question. Legal techniques, any kind of choke, except for using the hand to close a windpipe. Let me explain. So in ADCC, you're allowed to put your hand on your opponent's throat. That's fine, but you cannot close the windpipe, okay? Just to be clear. Any type of arm bar, shoulder lock, wrist locks, any leg locks, ankle locks is allowed. Can openers are allowed, so going back, close guard. If I'm in Fernando's guard, I'm allowed to do the can opener. Even if he opens the guard, I can still continue. Okay, we've seen people be submitted with a can opener.
Yeah, he's got the chance to tap out if he's handle free.
Twister is allowed. Okay, just to be clear. Illegal techniques, slamming. In ADCC, you're only allowed to slam your opponent when you're in the threat of a submission, okay? If your opponent has you in an arm lock, you're allowed to pick them up and slam them, okay? But if someone has me in an arm lock, and as I'm lifting them up, they let go of the submission, you must let go. You cannot follow through with the slam, just to be clear. Understood? So,
Can I ask you the spinal? So it's my out from me. In my voice now, When you turn up the other ground.
or an elbow leg.
Okay, guys, so everybody understands. His question is, on a takedown, is the slam allowed? As long as it's within the nature of the takedown. Okay? Siempre y cuando sea de la parte de la naturaleza del derrumbe, eso es parte del juego. I give you a perfect example is hip tosses. Okay? So you do a hip toss and uchimata or uchigari. As the person is coming down, it's going to happen. You're going to slam. You pick him up on a double and you start arching right away, belly to back suplex. That's the nature of the beast. But you cannot, from the closed guard, purposely pick him up and slam him. Like in some of the submission-only events that they allow that, we don't. It's only to escape a submission. And if the submission is released, you must stop. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Does that responder la respuesta?
A stand up. In ADCC, there are
Sorry, just gonna add one more thing. That the same thing applies for submission from the back. If somebody's choking you from the back, if it's not just if the hands are locked, the choke has to be already locked and applied in order to try to slam. Because many people thinking that, just closing the hands, locking, it's already opportunity to slam. No. And as soon as the guy opens that pressure, you cannot slam anymore.
For example, I don't know if you guys remember Marcelo Garcia with Rico Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So Marcelo was on Rico's. If Marcelo had gone for a rear naked,
yeah.
he would have been perfectly fine to slam. The problem is he only had a seatbelt, just to be clear. Okay? If he switched to a rear naked, he was perfectly legal to slam. That's why we stopped the match. ADCC, there are no neck cranks where you trap both shoulders and put pressure on the neck, such as a full Nelson. So you can't trap both. You see how both his shoulders are trapped? I can't put pressure on his neck. Okay? So
The same thing it could be on the crucifix on the mat.
no spiking. So in ADCC, if
You had a question?
So
Go ahead.
in the crucifix, in the crucifix, you can't.
You cannot perform a crucifix.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
remember,
on the-
both shoulder
Both shoulders are
dropped. Like,
he'll
if
demonstrate.
it's one shoulder only, that's okay.
So,
Let me
if I am here, if I'm belly down, this is okay. But the second I start applying pressure to the back of his neck, that's a weak. This is actually something you see very common. I'm here, he's still safe. There's no injury to the neck, yeah? Okay? Both of his shoulders are committed. But once I start turning in, okay, with his arm trapped between my legs, and I start putting pressure to the back of his neck, and again, I have an injured knee, so it's going to be a little difficult for me to roll, but I start turning in, and I put pressure on his neck, that's illegal. Does that answer your question?
got it. So you wouldn't use crossed over the center line this way. So you take them back the other way over your body, essentially. When you're in the crucifix, it
Across.
right shoulder.
I got them.
Like say inside her.
Bridge over.
Yeah.
This is fine. There's no way.
There's no pressure on the neck.
So there's like the mat.
Keep going.
On the hat.
This is on him.
Okay.
Yeah, but just to clarify, if he goes that way, and then the person on the bottom stops there in order to start applying pressure with his head, keep turning on the stomach.
Turn belly down.
Yeah.
Off the prop.
That's where the referees will stop. He'll be like, or before that, maybe he'll say, "You're doing a crucifix. Stop it." If he keep going, he'll get the DQ.
Because you're the one that's putting pressure.
Yeah.
On something like that, where does the restart? What's the restart?
On this position,
That happens. A crucifix or even a slam off the back.
It's a DQ.
it's a DQ.
You're done.
Yeah. So we started outside.
That's your restart. No. Yes, sir.
But it just kind of like interesting because if the guy initiate and goes over the stomach as a split.
Yeah, but you don't have to put.
But I don't have to.
He doesn't have to turn and put pressure.
He continues his initiate.
That was your
to
choice.
Break his neck.
So if they're in that position over, if you choose to like scoot your hips away and maybe inward pressure towards the backer, but his back essentially, then that's a DQ.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Correct. Thanks, right? After she got injured.
Okay? In ADCC, there's no spiking your opponent on their head. Okay? You're allowed to suplex, but what we mean is someone goes for a single leg, I pick up my opponent, I shift their body and aim their head to the ground. Okay, that's an immediate disqualification. Okay, so you can suplex, but if you're going to shift your opponent and aim his head to the mat, you're going to get DQ'd. Okay.
Just to add on.
Back to the same question. As long as it's within the nature of the takedown, it's okay. But purposely turning them over to dot them on their head, that's
No, I was just about to say that. Even if you're doing a takedown, purposely you can't just take him down on his head. You know, unless you're doing the suplex is fine. It doesn't matter if it's from a slam or a takedown, you can't purposely turn him over and smack him on the head.
No striking of any kind, obviously. No eye gouging, fish hooking, grabbing the ears, hair pulling. If you grab the hand, you must have 4 fingers or more, okay? You can't grab 3 fingers. And if you're gonna grab the toes, you need to have all 5 toes, okay? No thumbing, no scratching, pinching, kicking, biting, squeezing the groin area. So if I'm in guard and I put my foot near my opponent's groin, that's fine. That's fine. If I put pressure forward on the groin, that's illegal, okay? Someone actually asked me this recently.
Who initiated?
This apparently happened at the last Who's Number 1, so they asked me. I won't mention names. Okay, no hands, knees, or elbows on the face, okay? You want to demonstrate this one?
Yeah, well, what it means that is like the face, we consider this part of the face where you can't touch the face, the nose, no elbows, knees on the face. But on the side, if you want to change to position or something, pressuring side, this side, that's okay. What it means is not applying a specialized pressure in the middle of the face. Yeah, eyes, nose, mouth.
eye socket.
Yeah, when some people are trying to do that.
I like knuckles. They like say like you're in a whole planted position, you're wrapping around.
That's okay.
Well, knuckles is fine. I mean, usually,
Like you crank in the face. Doesn't
exactly, when you have this thing, the person can still move his head. If his head is staying that way with your knuckle, it's okay. Yeah, he'll cover this, you know.
Yeah, you're allowed to smother. You want to show the cross face with the twisting the chin?
Yeah, I'll sit down.
Oh.
All right, just to answer quickly your questions. Yeah, you can block them out, but you can block it only with closed fingers. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Only this thing. That's fine. You can do cross-face chokes, no problem. You can do but you cannot apply pressure towards the nose. You know what I mean? It's not allowed. Now for the guillotine is that are twisting the chin all the way up are not allowed. Especially the ones that also will lock the shoulders. All right, let's say this one. This is completely forbidden. Okay, anything that's pressurized the chin, locking the shoulder, it's not allowed. So regular guillotine you can do in each way, just not twisting the chin because there's no time for the person to tap before he gets in.
So the guillotine and the neck ranks. There's that neck rank that people do when they have a front headlock and then they pull from that far shoulder. You guys know what I'm talking about?
You have to show
us.
Yeah. Like 100%. I think they call them 10.
I'll just come. Maybe you can use it.
You can use Fernando.
down grip over the shoulder.
Go ahead.
I'm not very good at it, but yeah, I'd like to drift the gates here and then they'll sit through and connect.
Okay, good question. Stay there. Do it. Now look, someone already asked me this.
Let's turn.
This shoulder is not blocked. So this shoulder is free. That is fine. But if you want to do the same thing while blocking this shoulder too, and keep applying pressure somehow, now this is already, it's okay. Yeah. This is already a crucifix. You know what I mean?
Shoulders.
That's what we just said at the beginning. If both shoulders are trapped at the back and applying pressure towards the neck, like in this case down, it's a crucifix. So you should free at least one shoulder in order to do that thing. So this basically is, you can just shift to positions. It doesn't really apply much pressure.
Okay. Now to the juicy stuff, points. Right now. Okay. Passing the guard in ADCC is worth 3 points. If you pass your opponent's guard, here, you must have at least 75% of your opponent's back on the mat. If he's on his side, chances are they're not going to give you the points for this, okay? 75% or more. Remember, in ADCC, you're going to keep hearing this. 3 seconds. Everything is 3 seconds. You must control your opponent on the mat for 3 seconds. If I hold him for 2 seconds and he comes forward, nothing. Then I go back. The timer starts. 3 seconds, okay? Clear?
Sure. as far as 75%, so if we consider like shoulder, hip, if they have one shoulder and one hip off, that's time.
Like, I just want to be clear. It's going to be up to the discretion of the judges. What we're looking for is control overall, okay?
Okay, can I just add something?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, on your question, like he said, if he's on his sides, like this or like this, we don't consider it a passing guard. But shoulders are important for us. So which means if one of the shoulders is up and the hips, this is like, 75%, can't really measure it, but this is okay. Which means, because when I said hips, if his hips is up, but I keep pressuring some of his shoulders, lift up your hips. Yeah, this is still considered as pass, you know what I mean? His shoulders are up. Because many times people will do that. That's easy to do, right? So remember, don't look at the hips. It's, plus as he said, it's referee's discretion to,
And it's more about maintaining, and I made a couple of jokes yesterday about 3 seconds. It's really the control of the position for 3 seconds or more.
Yeah. You know what, guys, I'll say something so it's easy for us to continue. In ADCC, everything is about 3 seconds. So every position, in order to get the points for, you need to hold it there for 3 seconds. And remember, being out of danger. Because in this situation, if you're in somehow of a lock or something on the head, referees, even if you control that, referees won't give you the pass until you release your, attack.
So he could be facing towards you, be facing towards his shoulder, facing towards you for like 2 minutes, and then pushing down to 75%, you collect your blades. So it doesn't matter.
He's saying if he's on his side for like 2 minutes, and then when you put him flat, then you get the points.
See, you pass guard
When you pass, yeah,
completely towards like this, and then you push him down like 2 minutes.
Yeah, basically, if it's like this position, as you said, it's like you're still in guard. So if you keep trying, finally you get the pass. Unless you're changing to a completely different position, then it's a different story.
Is it up to the referee to let everyone know the 3 seconds? Like, am I counting 3 seconds? You seem to.
No.
You're counting your head as. So one thing that we have to make a very clear distinction is the referee on the mat and the judges on the table. It's not like other events that you're going to clearly go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I give points. We don't do that in ADCC, okay? The referee on the mat should maintain a mental count and an overall picture of the match, because his decision will be taken in consideration given that a match finished 0-0, even score, okay? However, the people that actually give the points are the judges. The referee will assist, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. But the primary point givers are going to be the table judges. Does that answer your question?
Also, guys, just to make things much faster, if you have questions, we're going to probably cover it. Let's just focus on the position we're focusing on. Otherwise, we're just going to get off target, okay? We'll probably cover it. If we don't answer by the end, then ask us on your back. Now, knee on the stomach in ADCC is worth 2 points. What we're looking for is the knee being in the center of the stomach, okay? It can't be in the center of the chest. You won't be awarded points for that. It doesn't matter which knee. It can be the inside knee for 3 seconds. It can be the outside knee for 3 seconds, okay? If he's on his side, you will not be awarded points for this, obviously. They must be flat. Now, this is very important. If I put my knee in their stomach for 3 seconds, I get the points. I remove my knee for 3 seconds or more. I put my knee back, I get points again, okay?
Another 3 seconds in.
Okay, I can keep doing that. This is what Galvao did to Paul Harris. He took his back, we're gonna cover that. Took the hook out, boom, boom, just kept racking up the points. The reason we do that is you're giving your opponent a chance to escape, okay? So it's up to them if they wanna go for that or not. Also, we don't really look for the posture for knee on the stomach. I don't have to be upright. If I want, I can get a head and an arm as well, okay? So inside knee, outside knee, doesn't matter. And we're looking for 3 seconds, center of the stomach.
And how strict are you when you say you have to know if you're in like a stable position where like your instep is connected to the near side hip here?
You want to show me real quick?
Yeah, no, right.
And be it centered up. We're in like a stable position here.
It's got to be centered up. Good question. Yeah, here you can do it either there or just small part of the hip, go back like small part of, yeah. This is also not going to work. It's got to be exactly in the center. Look, if you're here and stay for 3 seconds, you can shift it right there. It's still okay. But we need to see that one first.
Timo, is it 75% here?
Good question. So he's asking for knee on the stomach 70%?
In this case, no. Doesn't matter where his back is. If you give you, I mean, if he's sitting,
No, it's
that's going to be.
Does he have to be flat?
Yeah.
Down his-
No, it doesn't have to be completely flat.
So it could be this.
Yeah. Even less.
Because the control of the position here is with the knee.
The knee
not with
is-
the upper body. Because as you pass the guard, you know, you can get knee on the stomach right here. And another point is, it doesn't matter about the far leg. The knee can be down,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
can be up. It could be forward or not. But my knee is in the center of the flat,
Stay there.
the stomach.
It doesn't matter if his shoulders, he can even apply pressure towards him with his hand.
Actually-
Bringing his body. It's still knee on the stomach going to count.
You know, there'll be situations,
Yeah.
you know, guideline we had for extra and for large, we can submit somebody just like this. You know? But it doesn't matter if his back is flat, turn a little bit, you know, his back, the shoulders are off mat.
Another interesting thing is that it doesn't really matter where his hips is, because sometimes strong people are trying to jump with you while your knee is still there, you're still going to get the points.
Yes, sir.
So let's say a person passes, then the person playing guard, but then Fernando is still he doesn't have the same 40%. The guy in passed is in a knee on belly situation. He hits the knee on belly, puts no pass.
We're going to cover that.
We're gonna cover-
We're going to cover that. I know, but now you're talking about chaining attacks. We're going to go over that. Okay, mount position. In ADCC, it's worth 2 points. Okay, just to be clear, it's different. What we look for, both knees must be on the mat. Okay, this is where referees come into consideration. The judges might not be able to see because they might assume. What's that?
No, capture the one.
Yeah. Oh, like you mean like half?
Yeah, if I'm the ref and the judges are over there, those guys cannot really see if this leg is released in full mount, right? So, yeah.
So a good referee will motion to the judges if both knees are not. If he gets double unders on my legs, it does not matter, okay? As long as my knees are below the shoulder line, I'll get the points. Reverse mount. I know what you're gonna explain. I already knew it was coming. So
Oh my God.
reverse mount is allowed, okay? If I hold this, once again, you must hold the position.
Thank you, bro.
You must hold the position for 3 seconds, okay? So reverse mount, regular mount, double unders, doesn't matter. Just both knees below the shoulder line. Worth 2 points. All right.
Guys, what you guys heard that detail is very important. Below the shoulder line. Okay, that's critical because a lot of times the guy will stick an arm in and purposely put his shoulder under the leg
So yeah.
so he doesn't get any points. You know?
That's already tips for the fight.
Any questions? Good? All right. Back mount. Up. Sit down. Sit. So in ADCC, if you get both hooks in on the crevice of the hips for 3 seconds, that's 3 points, okay? Now, if I take his back and I put my hooks in for 3 seconds, I get the points. I take my hook out. 3 seconds or more. I put the hook back in, I get the points, okay? 3 seconds. Everything's 3 seconds. 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, okay? We allow body triangles. So I put in my body triangle, I get points. Same thing applies. I open the body triangle, 3 seconds, and I close it, I get points again, okay?
Well, if you go from the body triangle that hooks in, does it wait 3 seconds and then go in?
See, if I go here, 3 seconds, I take this out because one hook is out, and I switch
Yeah,
to this
that
one.
was a good question because many people are trying to do exactly the opposite. When you have the body triangle, from here, they go here expecting another point. No, because you did not open it
Release it for 3 seconds.
completely. Yeah,
So essentially.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Stand up, please. Takedowns. All right. In ADCC, there's 2 different types of takedowns. There's a regular takedown when I take my opponent down. If I take my opponent down and I end in close guard.
I think this one back.
Pose. If I hold him here for 3 seconds, that's 2 points. Stand up. If
It
I
doesn't
take-
matter if it's guard or half guard. Just so you
Yeah.
know.
If I take him down to side control, this is 4 points, okay? Same thing applies. 75% of the shoulder. Now here's a key detail we're gonna go into. Stand up. If I go for a double leg, he puts me in a guillotine, okay? He puts me in a guillotine, I take him down. As long as my head is in this guillotine, you will not be awarded the points. I can sit here for a minute. Once my head comes out, the timer's on, okay? 3 seconds, I get the points for the takedown. But remember, if he puts me in a guillotine, he lets go of the guillotine, and he gets up before the 3 seconds, there's nothing, okay? Just to be clear. 2 points if I end in guard or half guard, 4 points if I end in side control, and the threat of the submission stops the timer, okay? This is a strategy you'll see a lot in ADCC. When people get taken down, they do two things, either attack a submission or turtle position, which we're gonna cover. Any questions on takedowns?
Okay, I'll add up one more thing.
Yeah.
If you take him down, just regular takedown, okay, and end up in the guard or half guard, you don't have to look at the 75% of the back. He can be still in sitting position. If he's down and hold him there for 3 seconds, is the 2 points, right? While if you're out of the guard, then you have to look at that 75%, you know? Remember that, because many people ask me like, oh, but I was sitting on my butt, why did you give him points? For regular takedown, guard, half guard is okay.
By the way, that's a big misconception in ADCC. A lot of people think we look for the back. For the regular takedown, your butt's gotta be on the mat.
Exactly.
Okay?
So essentially, it's a fact, but the cell is a factor in the 4 point. It's just the guard passing.
Basically, yeah, a takedown to technically a guard pass.
A takedown, so anything outside any guard, sir.
Cover the guard pass straight to mount and straight to new.
Yes, sir.
That comes after.
Oh, okay. Because I think this is what they're confusing.
He will take on endo out.
You want to address that now?
What is that?
So if it matters who initiates the takedown or who ends up on top? We're going to talk about now, or then subsequent we talk about chain?
We'll go over that in the chaining, okay? The whole initiation thing, okay? What's the next one? Sweeps. So the same thing with sweeps. There's 2 different types of sweeps. Fernando's in my guard. Now, I sweep him. Let's say I end up in half guard. That's 2 points. Now, if I sweep him and I end in side control, 4 points.
Or mount or knee on the stomach, it's 4 points.
Okay, out of the guard. Okay, if I sweep him here, end up here, that's 4 points. Okay, same thing applies though. If I sweep him and he attacks his submission, and let's say I sweep him, he goes for a heel hook, as long as I'm in the threat of the submission, the timer stops. This is what, if some of you remember what Nicky Ryan did with Jamil Taylor. Jamil swept Nicky Ryan, he immediately attacked the heel, and because of that, otherwise he would have probably lost the match. Once Nicky let go of the foot, he stood up, okay? So this is a very, very important strategy, attacking submissions to buy you some time. Someone takes me down, I'm gonna apply a guillotine, buy myself some time and try to get up, okay? So same thing, 2 points if you end in half guard or guard, 4 points if you end up in side control from a sweep. Okay, oh, here we go. Chaining, guard position. So, let's say I'm in Fernando's guard, I pass his guard, and then less than 3 seconds, I go straight to mount. We do not combine the points. I will only be awarded for the pass, okay? Now, if I pass his guard, I hold this for 3 seconds, I'll get the points. If I go knee to the belly or mount and hold those for 3 seconds, I get the points. Okay, we don't combine. I think in IBJJF they combine the points. Okay, just to be clear.
All right, that was correct. Just want to add one thing before about the strips. Reversals are considered strips as well, right? So reversal from, if somebody is mounting you can reverse him and end up guard, that's points. And one more thing, if there are many strips applied, there's multiply strips, points get the last guy who ends up on top. I mean, the guy who ends up on top for 3 seconds. Now, that reminds me to tell you that sweep we consider when 2 guys are facing each other and changing from bottom to top position for 3 seconds. This is a sweep, out of danger, of course, which means if somebody is on turtle and just flip him over, that's not a sweep. And one more thing, like in the sweep situation is like sweeps has to be done in one continuous motion. So if you start a sweep, you have to finish it. If you stop someone in the middle, break the position, pause those 3 seconds, sweep won't be considered anymore as sweep. All right, so that's the thing I want to add.
Now, reversals on your back. Okay, this is pretty unique, I think, to ADCC. If I mount Fernando and he bucks me off and he comes on top, he gets points in ADCC. That's a reversal, okay? If Fernando has me in side control and I bridge him over, that's 4 points. Now, this is where it gets a little bit trickier with the whole initiation thing. Come here. On your back. This is what makes ADCC hard. So,
Yeah, now talk about initiations.
yeah. So, I have Fernando in mount. I go for an arm bar. Here, I go for the arm lock. He comes on top. I keep fighting with this arm lock. As he gets out, there's no points. Why? Because I initiated the position. Okay? Got to be very clear on that. One more thing. Go back to mount. If Fernando starts to push me, if he puts pressure on me and stuff like this, that's fine. That doesn't mean anything. Now, if he's pushing me off and I'm going to go over and then I attack the arm, I get out here and he gets out on top, he gets points because he initiated the process. Okay?
When I say initiate, it's not just because Fernando pushes him. There's got to be almost, sweeping him.
Like I'm going to go over and I just throw up a Hail Mary, basically.
Last minute. The same thing applies for the footlocks. When somebody goes down for a footlock and the other guy stands up, the same exact situation. Whoever initiates first, either the attack or the sweep, gets the points or not.
That armbar situation where you're on top and the armbar, and he comes out.
No, there's no points. No points at all. Because I initiated. Okay?
I know it's probably up to referee discretion, but how strict are you guys on control points that lead to a submission rather than just a submission? Like if I'm in a mount and I roll a chin strap or something coming out of there, there's not a real tight guillotine grip, but is that still going to be considered a sweep?
I mean, it's got to be a pretty
Pretty good luck.
submission. Yeah.
Sure,
Can't be just a grip.
And ultimately, yes, referees and judges' discretion.
Okay, now we're going to answer your question now. In ADCC, during the no points time, 5-pole guard, that's fine. I don't have to have contact and go pull any time. For tomorrow in the finals, if you pull at any time and you stay down for 3 seconds, that's a minus. Now, if I sit down for 2 seconds and then I get up and try to go for a takedown, there is no negative. Okay? You must be sitting down for 3 seconds or more. Okay? If you pull during the points time, it's an immediate -1. In the finals, if you pull at any time, it's a -1. Okay? If I go down for 2 seconds here and then I go try to finish the takedown, that's okay. Okay?
But you have to be off the knee in 2 seconds.
You're saying what's considered down position?
No. Once your knee's down, you're already down.
Yeah. Anything but the bottom of your feet.
Yeah. You have to have 2 feet on the floor and not to the.
Okay.
But when he says pull guard, is also when jump someone's guard is considered pull guard as well, not just sitting down on the floor. And then the same thing about the submission. If you pull, you're holding a submission, you don't get the negative till he releases himself from that submission.
So anytime there's a submission, it just stops the timer.
Yeah,
And then
stop the time.
you go. Okay.
Excuse me, Mo.
Sorry.
The minus 20.
So we're doing a new policy now in ADCC. This is something we haven't done before. From now on, anytime there's a -1, we stop the match briefly. We inform the athlete. We inform the coach. Because the truth is this: 90% of the time, these coaches aren't even looking at the matches. The athlete doesn't know he has a negative, and they're like, so we're gonna make it easy for these guys. Half these coaches are on their phone. So.
I just want to address one thing that we didn't even discuss yesterday. And jump guard. Okay, so this deer, his back is small where he's not touching the ground. He can jump off, and if I stand up, which more than likely will not happen, and jumps back out, he get nothing, and there's nothing. But if he jumps guard, and I'm here, and a couple of seconds, and then we go down, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, -1. Does that make sense?
Okay, that reminds me something else for you guys to understand. When we talked about slamming, okay, this position is good to understand. If same situation, if let's say he goes double leg, just double leg, and okay, and you close the guard, yeah, he can double leg him on the floor, right? It's like it's a takedown. Yeah. Well, not jumping to break his wrist, most of it. But if he does, if he jumps guard, jump guard, to take the minus point, he cannot slam because now he's not gonna do any takedown anymore. It's his jumping guard, right? So we'll consider this as a slam if you do that. Many people are angry because the guy jumped guard and just tried to slam.
Okay. Oh, man.
Now, just to clarify, so you will guard for 2 seconds, you come up, you initiate a takedown, they defend, and you repull, and still have connection. Is that going to be a nick?
No, because you're off your feet. You know, you're saying if I sit down, then I come up for a takedown, and I can't get it, then the timer starts again. Then if I'm...
But that's still considered a butt or guard.
Hold on, how many seconds you've been up again?
Right.
Yeah.
If you're up for more than 3 seconds, then the clock resets from the beginning. But if you've been a second up and down, it's already from the same situation.
I think it also applies when somebody does a shot and fight, and then goes.
Well, that's another,
I don't understand.
another situation. Anyway, it's
It's situational, and we'll address it in a moment.
Yeah. We'll go after it. Okay. Warnings and penalties for stalling. In ADCC, during the no points time, you can receive warnings. Okay, you can receive warnings, points and no points time. During the no points time, you can receive 2 warnings. And after the 2 warnings call, then you start getting hit with penalties for stalling. Okay, you can't get hit with the penalty in stalling during the no points time, correct?
Sure.
So you can get the warning. So if you get 2 warnings and no points time, then points come. The next one's an immediate negative. Okay. Now, if I'm standing, I'm in my opponent's guard, and I'm just making contact like this. This for us is stalling. Okay. Obviously, we're gonna give you some time. You know, we don't expect you to go and be pushing it all the time. But if I'm like this, where I'm just hovering around like this, the referee is going to penalize you. Okay, you have to be actively trying to pass the guard or sweeping or submitting.
You cannot just run away from the guard.
Okay.
When he says stalling could be done by the guy on the bottom or the guy on top. It doesn't matter which one. If it's not doing anything, will be warned and penalized.
Okay, the next point is what we just went over. You go get hit with 2 warnings. So if you're a coach or an athlete, you need to be very wary of that. If you have 2 warnings already, the next one's going to be a negative. Okay, so 2 warnings, then we go straight to minuses. Once you start receiving minuses every time, it's going to be a minus. So you won't get 2 warnings, a minus, 2 warnings, and a minus. Understood?
Unless you guys hear the word warning, not action, and just warning, that's an important thing. Sometimes referee will tell you action, that this is not warning. This is just pushing you to work. Remember, action is a different thing.
And we just covered this. For minuses, we didn't do this before in ADCC. We're going to stop the action briefly, inform the athlete, inform the coach that they received a minus.
Warning is coming from the tape.
Yeah, everything is coming from the table.
And the announcement will come from the ref.
The announcement will come from the referee on the mat.
Yeah. Any question?
Penalty limited.
What's that?
Penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do.
Oh, yeah.
It could be minus 37. Okay.
And it's very simple. You just add the plus points, subtract the minus points. Yeah. By the way, that confuses people. All right, other topics. Oh, we went over this. If you initiate a submission from mount position, your opponent will be awarded sweeping points. Okay? Very simple. Oh, the patented turtle position. All right. Stand up. This is very, very, very important. Okay? So, we're both standing. Come here. Sit. I shoot a double leg. And I get this double leg. I can't put him down. He's sprawling. I'm actively trying to finish the takedown. I just don't shoot and stop. I'm trying to finish the takedown, After 3 seconds, I can pull guard. Sorry. I can pull guard. No penalty. Okay? Even during points time. Okay, this is what you saw with, people use this a lot. This is what Gordon Ryan did with Bushesha. You know, people in the audience were screaming. I'm just like, they don't even know the rules. Okay? So if you shoot in turtle position, now, it has to be real. I can't just come like this, because otherwise everyone's going to try to game the system. We'll penalize them. And once again, that's up to the discretion of the judges.
Right, and guys, it's something that we want to address. It has to be a conscious effort to finish that takedown. Okay, a lot of times you see guys do a real sloppy, the guys that have poor wrestling, they'll do a sloppy single double and kind of like, oh, fish for the legs and then pull guard. No, it has to be an active and conscious effort to finish the takedown. And that is our discretion. Okay, we've all been at this for quite some time, and we can tell a very obvious difference.
Especially a fighter that's defending that takedown, that is not moving at all. Let's attack me single leg. Okay, attack it. Just staying here, doing nothing. I don't seem to defend very well. Right. They're stopping, waiting for those 2 seconds to pull. But I'm not defending much. He doesn't do any effort, right?
This is very important because I've seen people lose matches like this. So like I said, in ADCC, the judges are going to use common sense and their judgment. They know, most of the time, they know what's real and what's not, okay? So people who try to game the system, they're going to get penalized, okay? Any questions on that? Next one's really important. In ADCC, there's obviously boundaries, but I'm sure you've seen, we let people off the mats, okay? I've seen people start a takedown on this mat and finish it on the center mat. We've had 4 people on one mat competing. We don't care. I like it because the athletes know you cannot play the boundaries in ADCC. I've seen them go off on the concrete like 30 feet, okay? Do not stop. The athletes should not stop until the ref says stop, okay? This is what happened with Gio and Bruno in 2017. They got close to the edge. Gio stopped. Bruno kept going. And, he got a position. The ref didn't stop. So do not stop the action unless the ref says so. If they go out of bounds, the ref will check the position and resume them back in the center of the mat. Okay? You're going to see this a lot, and it's going to happen at the trials. It's going to happen at the World Championship. Do not stop.
For you guys, because there's no athletes competing here, right? Everybody is for the referee book.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, for you as well then. The referee, whenever he says stop, that's it. Okay? I know during the moment, battle gets a little heated. I'm not going to say any matches in particular, Nicky Ryan, Muhammad Ali. But, when the referee says stop, that's it. He freezes at that point. Time freezes. Okay? And we will try to restart it in that position to our best of our ability. Okay? And sometimes if the referee can't do it himself, you get this savage beast over there, so you can't pick that man up. All right? But call the table judges. We'll try to drag him in. You've seen it. I'm sure you guys have seen it on videos before. We'll try to, okay, your hands here, your hands there. We'll try to recreate the position to the best of our ability. And it's not the athlete's point to argue with you. Your word is final. Okay, no, my foot whatsoever that. No, I didn't see it there. I see it here.
Just to add up, if he keeps arguing, he might be penalized for it, or his coach on the corner. So,
but just to be clear, ADCC isn't the IBJJF. If you just say something to the ref, we're not going to be like DQ, okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right. You can talk, but just be respectful. Don't push it too far.
I mean, yeah, there is limits too.
Okay, judging criteria. This one's big. Everyone complains about this. They don't even know the rules. The number one judging criteria in ADCC is simply who's the aggressor, who's initiating. Anyone that's done ADCC knows it is the hardest rule set to score in. It's almost impossible. It's very hard. So we need to incentivize the athletes to push the action. A lot of times the judges, people don't know this, they're marking the entire match who's initiating the position. One of the most controversial matches of last ADCC was Nicky Rod and Cyborg. I've seen that match 15 times. I did a complete breakdown of that match explaining why that was the right decision, and it wasn't even close. Nicky Rod was initiating almost every sequence. Cyborg had some big counters, but if you watch the match, Nicky Rod initiated Cyborg slam, but then Nicky Rod almost took his back. So if you initiate and your opponent counters with something not too crazy, we're still going to give a heavy emphasis to the guy that initiated. Now, if I initiate a position, the guy Uchimatas me on my back, then obviously we're going to take that into consideration. So who initiates, generally speaking, is going to get the nod. Okay, we need to incentivize the athletes to push the action.
Initiating a serious situation, not just trying to initiate waving hands over there or touching the legs. That's another thing.
And then other than initiation, simple positional control, submission attempts, we take that all into consideration, okay? And also one thing that's very important, if it goes to a judge's decision, they judge the entire match, okay? A lot of people think it's just the overtime. That's not true. They'll judge the match from start to finish, okay? Referee duties, okay. Referees play a vital role in monitoring the score positions, but judges are the ones who award the points. Now, this is something very important. If you're going to be a referee, you must make contact with the judges periodically, because the judges need to communicate with you if they want to give a warning to an athlete. For example, if you see someone in someone's guard and you want to give a warning to the top player, the judge will point to the referee and be like this, warning. Then he'll motion to the athlete. So the referee must be making eye contact with the judges for many things. Another thing is when points time's coming up, the judges will motion to the referee, hey, 10 seconds to points, he'll do a countdown so the referee knows. So that relationship between the referee and judge is vital in ADCC. You have to be very aware, okay? If it goes to a judge's decision also, the referee will, say who he thought won the match as well, along with the judges. Any questions?
Can I come back to one thing we forgot to tell, especially for those who are about to be refs and judges? You got to make clear difference between somebody that takes down and the other guy jumps in guard while he's already on down, or who first jumps guard and then the guy's pretending to take down, which means that if he jumps into guard, right, he's going to lose a negative point, right? But jumping the guard, but in the middle of the motion, like he jumps, he's already starting, he goes jump guard, he goes to takedown. He's going to slam it, it's like, oh, give me the 2 points, because I did the takedown. You have to make a clear difference between who first initiates. Did he jump first, or the other way around? He goes for a double leg, picks him up, and then he closes.
Hold on, we're seeing.
Yeah, go for a double.
Oh, yeah, he did. No, sorry.
Okay, just jump after that jump guard.
So now he goes to guard from here, but I've done the single leg first, right?
All right. Yeah, many times happen single or double. When you pick him up for a takedown, the guy closes asking for a negative. But no, that was the takedown. We initiated first. Remember, especially the guys who's going to judge, because you got to watch these things out. It's important.
As I covered before, referee, if you know the judges can't see, they'll motion to the judges if both hooks are in, if certain positions, okay? It's, like I said, that communication between the ref and judge.
It's got to be all the time.
It's all the time. It's vital, okay?
Real quick, a point on that, guys, and this is something that I stress a lot. The table's over there with the judges, and the match is taking place here. Be cautious and position yourself.
That was the next one.
Not too far, but always facing that table. So I'm paying attention to what happens here because I want to prevent a potential injury, and I want to make sure that the activity keeps going. But use your peripheral to maintain that communication at all times. Because the table, if they're facing this way, for example, on a back take, may not see a hook in or not, and you need to be able to tell the table, points, red, yellow, whatever the color may be, hooks, whatever the situation calls for. But position yourself throughout the match. Give the athletes the space to work. Can we verbal? You see that
2 minutes.
they tend to go towards the edge. Go to the center. Communicate. We're not other organizations that do not talk to the athletes and is expected to be. No, talk to them. They're in the moment of the heat of the battle. So you got to communicate not only with the athletes, but also it's very important to the team. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes.
You want to do it, Fed?
Oh, yeah, we finished that.
Okay, sorry. All right, referees, you must be assertive, okay? If you're going to be a ref, you can't be a sissy, otherwise these guys are going to eat you alive, okay? You got to be firm and be very aware of your positioning. Who remembers Nicky Rod with Muhammad Ali? Okay, that match was insane. They were just going out of the bounds. If you're the referee and you see the athletes at the edge of the mat, you need to position yourself between the athletes and the photographers and the audience, okay? Those guys were like flying in and crushing photographers and stuff like that. So you need to be very aware. And like I said, we'll let them go out of bounds as much as we can until they start running into stuff. Okay?
Go ahead.
That's it for me.
Anything else?
If your boss was saying was that.
All right. Now, I want to cover about injuries, intentional and unintentional hits, right? If somebody gets injured means either an eye poke or bleeding. That's the only situations that we're going to stop the fight and give him 2 minutes to recover. Sometimes we might give him a little more than that because of the, talking to the doctor and something, but it's about around 2 minutes time to recover, to stop the bleeding or, maybe something wrong with his eye, wash it out and this and that. Anything else, any other injury we consider as a submission. If you just twist your leg or something happened to your knee while fighting, you have your chance to continue. You want to continue or you want to give up. That's it. We cannot stop the game to recover for any other injuries than this. Now, if it was unintentional hit, we're going to give him that time. If he can recover, he's good to go. If he cannot, he's going to just lose the fight. But if it was intentional, the other guy gets DQ'd right away. Simple like that.
They verbally tap from an injury, right? We stop it right down in there.
You said a key word in there, Juan. You said
They just tap out.
fat.
Oh, okay. So if they like
No, we will stop it. He holds the game. Usually the other fighter holds it too. But then the ref will tell him, like, go on, keep fighting. If you
just my chance then at that point, like,
yeah, of course, we're going to give him that chance and we're going to stop the game right away.
¿Qué pasa si tu pasa una larga? ¿Qué persona que
So his question is very similar. What happens if you apply a submission and the person screams? Understand this. 99% of ADCC events are professional. These guys know what they're doing. Let them scream and grunt. But we also know the difference of a yell in pain and then they start grabbing their elbow or their knee or their ankle, whatever the case may be. You know, if the person starts screaming, the opponent lets go and he grabs his knee, that's a verbal submission. But we make it very clear, you know, screaming, these guys are bidding for money. You know, at the World Championships, you get good money. Let them go. You know your threshold. We've seen guys being in a Kimura, their wrist on the back of the neck, literally, get out and continue the match like it's nothing. So,
Sí, sí, claro. Okay, the metaphor, you know.
yeah.
Sometimes you don't have the time.
Let go.
To top or something, you know, and that.
That's why we make it clear, yell, tap. Well, clear, make the tap.
I'll tell you something that will surprise you. First of all, as Mo Justin said, there's ways to either tap clearly. If there is no way, you can verbally say either a tap out, you know, I give up or something like this, right? Mate, somewhere, right? But I'll give you especially for the guys who wants to be referee and judges. When somebody is into guillotine position, I'll go that way, right? Guillotine position, and ref is right here, and they apply pressure. Sorry, we gotta go that way. Apply pressure. Most of the time, fighters will just step out that way.
Yeah.
Okay. And then ref will stop because he'll see the tap out, right? But who else saw it? No one else. So instead, the referee will wait. Will ask him, or maybe you can push it like, "Are you tapping out?" To clearly tap out, and believe me, they always do. They reach to a point either they just pass out or they do. So instead, the guy keep going, won't stop the fight until he starts tapping out on me or on. You know what I mean? Because this is what happened many times. He tapped out, referee stopped the fight, and nobody else saw it. And then is the argument going on.
I know you're talking about intentional this. What if someone just jumps guarded over Hable and he hits the guys in the end?
And blows his knee out.
Do we just give him like a 2 minutes to get a look at it, or do we just let it keep going?
Who can see it? The guy who jumped?
No, the person standing, he jumps to guard, my knee buckles.
No, that's part of the.
Oh yeah, that's an unintentional hit towards your partner. He's gonna get the chance. Yeah. Oh yeah, but if the guy who jumped hurts his own knee, he's out if he doesn't continue.
So that's again, we go back to that's unintentional.
Yeah.
You don't jump guard to purposely submit somebody. Now, cannibal sound, that's a different story. But jumping guard, you don't intentionally jump guard. I mean, if it's an absolute division and you have, you know, Orlando jumping guard on you, that's a different story. But jumping guard is not intentional. That answer your question?
Yeah, I was just making, because I know we just give him some time and like,
Yeah, you give him time.
yep, can I stop it there and let him?
Yes.
By the way, to go back to that scream tap, I'll give you an example. In 2007, Marcelo Garcia was fighting Holmes Gracie, and he did some weird arm thing, and Holmes screamed and started grabbing his elbow and was saying he didn't tap. But we ended the match, okay? He was screaming and he grabbed his elbow, and then he tried to complain saying he didn't tap. And we said, the match is over.
Yeah, it's still referee's discretion to realize how bad the thing is. I mean, sometimes you can see bone coming out of it. You stop the fight. I mean, you won't let the people really get killed.
Any questions? Let's go to the strategy.